welcome back to my channel. I'm Ginny Mae, the Intergalactic Supreme Goddess of Guest Service, and I have been in the restaurant business for over 35 years and a personal service trainer for over 16. I know that when I am training new waiters coming in, sometimes it's their very first job. And I know when I first started my very first job, I was really shy. So I would love to talk to you today about tips for increasing your confidence level. Tip number 1 is be super fresh in the morning. You know that when you've had a good night's sleep, you feel a lot more confident than when you're not feeling well or you had a really crappy sleep. When we had a crappy sleep or we're not feeling well, we're kind of like in our own little bubble, we're less likely to greet and say hello to people. But if you're super fresh, have a lot of energy in the morning, you are going to be an energy giver and you're most likely going to say hello to other people and be more outgoing. So be fresh in the morning. Tip number 2 is how to start a small talk if you're not really quite sure how to. I love this trick and I've been testing it for the last few years and it works really good. When you do see somebody, of course, start out to say good morning or good afternoon or hi, how are you? And a lot of times they'll answer, I'm doing great, and they'll start walking away, or I'm doing great, and they'll just stare at you. And the conversation is kind of dead there. So I really like adding some other question in, like, oh, are you doing something fun today? Or my very favorite question, and I know that if you know me, you know that I ask this all the time, hey, what's fun, new, and exciting? Because if I ask that, a lot of times people have to search their mind for, yeah, what is exciting I can tell you? What is fun that I can tell you? And what is new? And it kind of covers a lot of things, but it has to be really positive and energetic. So people just take a little moment in their mind to find that one thing that is fun, new, and exciting, and they let me know about it. For example, maybe they say, oh, what's fun, new, and exciting? Well, not much, but we're going to take a walk around the lake. And then my little trick is just to repeat the last 1 to 3 words in that sentence. Oh, a little walk around the lake? And then pause. When we say that, to fill the gap, the other person thinks, oh, they didn't understand this lake thing. I need to kind of go deeper into it. Yeah, we're gonna go around the lake because there's supposed to be some new ducks that just flew in from another country and they're swimming around over there and we wanted to see these new type of ducks. Oh, that's so interesting, new ducks? Yes, we read on the news, blah, 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 and you can just keep repeating, you know, the last 1 to 3 words in the sentence and the person will end up continuing to talk. And when they do that, because people love to talk about themselves, they will think like, oh, they're such a good listener and they're so interesting. But in reality, you didn't end up saying anything about yourself. You just ended up repeating the last couple words of all their sentences before they are going to take a pause, kind of prompting them to speak a little bit more. So I really love that trick. I hope you try it out. My number 3 trick is a little bit of a spin-off. Once you get good at the number 2 trick, then you can kind of move on to step 3 of the number 3 trick. The number 3 trick also has the deal that we need to look at the person's body language. Of course, the body language and the voice coming out of their mouth is going to be the real meaning of their feelings. A lot of times the words coming out of their mouth are not matching, and so you can just kind of annulate those, but it's mostly the body language and of course that tone of voice that is coming out of the mouth. So if you're trying to really understand what someone's saying, which you are doing because you want to work on your confidence level, after they have said a little bit of information, then you can kind of sum up. I really like the saying seems like, or it sounds like. For example, it sounds like you're really interested in ducks. And pause and end up seeing what they're saying. Then it might say, oh, well, no, we weren't, but all of a sudden I read this news article and now it's interesting enough. There's not much else to do today, so we're going down there. Oh, it sounds like you really like to read the newspaper, blah, blah, blah. Now all of a sudden you have a little mini small talk going. Maybe it's even growing now into more of a small talk than a mini small talk, but you're able to keep a conversation going that way just by asking questions about the last thing that they said. With tip number 3, there are some little guidelines I can highly recommend, and that is to keep your questions an open question. I like questions that start with how. I think they're quite interesting because people have to think a little bit about it to answer a how question. Of course, we all know not to ask questions that have yes or no answers because that's going to end the conversation right there. Sometimes a what question will give maybe a 1 or 2 word or a small phrase answer, but I like how, because that always ends up making the other person speak a little bit more than that small phrase. So give that a try next time you're having your mini conversation. Try to get a how question in there. And my last mini tip for today, I know I said 3, but I always have a lot of times an extra one for you, and that is to end your mini conversation on a really positive note. Even if you're not at work and you're just outside and you're just practicing your confidence while you're outside or on the way to the grocery store or wherever, I always end that on a really positive note, like, oh, I'm so glad you told me, I'm so glad you took the time to talk to me today, even though you didn't tell them anything about yourself, they just talked. Or give them a little compliment, I hope you have a wonderful day, can't wait to see you next time. For example, because if they leave and they're thinking, wow, that person was such an energy giver, I really like talking to that person just for a couple minutes, that really made my day. Next time they see you, they are going to automatically think, wow, there's that person again that I really, really like, or I think that is really, really interesting, or made me feel really special, or such a good listener. And all of a sudden, you're the likable, confidence-building person. So I hope you can use these 3 or 4 tips when you're trying to build your confidence level. I think even though you have confidence, not everyone is going around with 100% confidence. So it's something that we can all work on little by little. So I hope you take the 3 tricks and test them out for yourself. Leave me a comment, subscribe, and like this video, and I really hope to see you next time. I'm Ginny Mae, the Intergalactic Supreme Goddess of Guest Service, and I thank you so much for watching my video. Please hit the thumbs up because it really helps our channel. And if you'd like more tips and tricks on service and how to up your service game, click here. And press on my face right here to subscribe. And don't forget to ring the little bell icon so you get a notification every time I come out with a new video. Follow me on Instagram, and let's go out and get amazing service.